Hey guys and gals, it's time for the Coach Jessica Show again. We've got some viewer questions today, but before we get into that, I just want to update you on everything that's going on with me. So I did give birth to my son. His name is Sebastian. He came into this world kicking and screaming on March 19th, and clearly, I've had my hands full ever since. Today, I have some viewer questions, and I actually have two that I wanted to focus on. One is about marriage, and one is about a dating situation. I want to encourage all of you to make sure you send me your questions, and it could be relative to really anything, your career, parenting, if you're having an issue with your kids and you're not really sure how to resolve it, if you and your mate are really not coming to an agreement on what to do with your babies. Let me know. If you're stuck in your work life and you're not sure which direction you want to go, I'm here for you. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. I've known this guy for about 6 months, and he is my best friend. We have a lot of fun together and a lot of things in common. We just seem to click. There is just one problem, though. My friend who introduced us has liked him for 4 years. He pretty much ignores her and spends time with me. I don't know what to tell her. We are attracted to each other, and we keep sneaking around so she won't see us around the town. I told her I like him, and she was upset. Is there an easy way to tell her we are becoming a couple? Okay, so let me just address a couple of things before I get to the actual question. It is like a monsoon outside. Oh my gosh. First, I'm going to say this, and not everybody is really going to love, I guess, my point of view, but nobody belongs to anybody. You know, I know that we have this nature to be possessive and really have the idea that once we like something or someone, that idea can belong to no one else. But I think that's kind of where competition is born. You know, there's one trophy, and we're going to fight for it and see whoever wins it. And the same thing goes with people. Just because I'm attracted to you doesn't mean that you're actually going to be attracted to me. And because I'm attracted to you, does that mean that the person next to me is not allowed to be attracted to you because I like you, and that we're friends and you're not allowed to like them because I like you? That's just very strange. And if we were bound by that law, then, I think we'd have a whole lot of unhappy people in the world. So I want to start by just acknowledging that we cannot just assume that because you and this other woman are friends, that you have to let this man just go. I think the first question to ask yourself is, where do your loyalties lie? You know, I heard you say that this man is your best friend and you've known him for 6 months. I think we tend to overuse this whole best friend term. But what defines a best friend? What defines a friend? Is it just simply that you all can share the same space without arguing, or you can discover that you both like nachos and guacamole? Or is it that, when I need to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning because my tire just blew? Time and consistency is what defines friendship, not necessarily the fact that we enjoy each other's energy for a short amount of time. So I think that you want to be careful about how you label the people in your life in general. You have already decided that you want to move forward in a relationship with this man. So the next step is for you to decide whether you're okay with your friend not being your friend anymore, because she's allowed to feel how she feels. She just might say, you want to be with him, that's fine, but I cannot be your friend. You need to give her the space to do that and be ready for whatever repercussions following that. You need to be sensitive, because you're already doing something that you know is hurtful to her. So if you really do consider her a friend, you'll be mindful of her feelings in all of this. I guess the other question is she worth losing? Because let's say in another 6 months, you figure that this guy is really not what you thought he was, or the relationship didn't turn out the way you thought it would, is your first instinct to now turn around and say, oops, girl, you know about that thing I said before? Yeah, never mind. So you have to be prepared for that negative consequence that she just may not want to be your friend at all again, even if it doesn't work out and it's over between you and this guy. So if you're good with that, if you can sleep with that, if you know he is just the peanut butter to your jelly and you have got to have it, then okay, do it, but just be prepared for whatever consequence that may follow that, and be mindful and kind, or maybe not kind. You should be mindful of how she may feel and give her the space to have whatever reaction that she's going to have, okay? That's my advice to you. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. So, you know, I'm not trying to preach at nobody, but generally speaking, that's the rule. So think about it that way. Okay. Here's one about marriage. You know, I haven't done a whole lot of marriage questions, and I think they can get a little bit tricky sometimes because I take marriage so seriously, and because I'm not in your home, I don't want to speak on something that could harm a relationship. But I'm going to speak in broad general terms here because, of course, I don't know the whole story. So here we go. My wife is prickly and angry most of the time. She takes her anger out on my daughter and myself. We have not had a decent conversation in months. All the words between us are either about running the household or words of disagreement. My wife is under a lot of stress at work, and I'm just tired of her angry tirades, and I just want to leave. Okay. I think whenever you're talking about a marriage situation that involves children especially, you got to wait, you got to pause, you got to stop, you got to think. Because it is not just about you. There are children that are involved, and they are very much vested in the relationship that you and your spouse have built, you and your wife have built. So their confidence, their peace is wrapped up in what mommy and daddy are doing. So you never want to make a decision haphazardly and just say, oh, I'm tired of you and your foolishness, I'm out. Okay? Just putting that out there. But if you want to think about fixing this situation, because it's difficult, you're talking about something that she is doing to you, something that is hurtful to you, something that you can't even necessarily control because you're not even the one that's causing her frustration, it sounds like. At least that's what you believe. So, you know, it's not easy to come into this saying, okay, well, if I just, you know, put my socks in the laundry, then all of these things will be over. If I just cook some dinner, the problem will be solved. It's external. It's outside of your home. So there are still some possibilities that you can explore that may help you to make the situation more cohesive in your home. But before you get there, the first step is you have got to forgive her. You've got to let go of how she's made you feel over this time. I know you're so angry and frustrated with her, with the, like you said, the tirades, and also how she talks to your daughter, because I'm sure you're looking at her sideways, like, why are you talking to my kid like that? But there's a reason for everything. And I think if we can just get to the right place of communication in your marriage, then she'll be able to use you as a sounding board as opposed to a whipping post. So a way to do that is kind of remind her of how things used to be. After you've forgiven her and your heart is softened and you're able to talk to her, even when she got her eyebrow all up here looking at you like, you don't even know what my day looked like. After you get all of those eyeballs, you know, if you're still able to communicate with her through that, that's going to get you to the next step. So maybe you whip out the old wedding pictures and you say, babe, remember this day? Remember that day? You know, lighten the air. I tell my couples all the time, y'all are so heavy in your house. The mood is so heavy. You've got to lighten up. Not everything is meant to be, you know, hurtful. Not everything is meant to be rude or mean. Sometimes I'm just saying something and I'm just, you know, joking. It's not that serious. So you want to lighten the air up a little bit and give her the space to kind of move into a different position. Reminisce a little bit about how things used to be. And then you're able to talk to her a little bit about how you want her to return to that person, because home is supposed to be home. You can be stressed out at work, but this is supposed to be your place of solace. So when you walk in the door, you're supposed to go, I'm going to be very honest. For a lot of women, including myself, home isn't necessarily home. Home is work. It's a different work. You leave one work and you come home to another work. You still have to do all of the things on the inside of the home, in addition to working your 9 to 5 or 9 to whatever. So the stress level that women are now experiencing has grossly grown exponentially, and there's not a whole lot of places for leeway to take that pressure off of them. So you want to come to her with empathic understanding, letting her know that you understand her frame of reference. I get it, honey. You're tired. Your boss, he's an idiot and he says these crazy things. I understand when you come home, there are some difficult things going on outside of the home. So you'd like some things to be going on this particular way inside of the home. Whatever it is that you can do to relieve her of some stress, that is going to work in your benefit. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I'm tired too, but okay, you got to come up with the goal. What's the goal? Is the goal for her to be happy when she comes home? Is the goal for her to return to her normal self where she's not snapping? If those are your goals, then you are going to have to do something different in order to get what you ultimately want. And another idea is for you to, in terms of doing something different, if you know that her stress is at work, well, surprise her at work. Grab her from her job and take her to lunch. Get her out of the environment that causes her the stress, that wreaks the havoc, because then she can have a few moments with you to see you in a different light. She may not even be able to see you at this point, depending on where her stress level is. It sounds like she might just be existing, waking up, brushing her teeth, going to work, getting mad, coming home, still being mad, going to bed, mad, getting back up and starting it all over again. So if you kind of break that monotony, show up at her job with, a Cheesecake Factory gift card and some flowers, like, hey, boo, let's go get something to eat. Maybe you can start there. And then, you're already starting the conversation on a good note, because she's like, he loves me. Hello, lover. You're engaging her in a different way that will require her to respond to you in a different way. I say it all the time. When we change, we force those around us to change. We require other people to change. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But you do something different, it is likely that she is going to do something different. She needs you. She needs you right now. And in every marriage, we take turns. There are times when, I'm weak, where I'm tired, where I got a terrible attitude, and my husband has to pick up the slack and put the girls in the bath or do whatever. And there are times when my husband comes home and he's looking sideways and I have to, manage the situation and do what I have to do. Not everybody is going to have a good day or a good period. They're going to be, this is a lifelong, marriage is a lifelong commitment. So we can't look at it as a snapshot. There are going to be times or periods where you're going to need to lean on her. And so the hope is that she doesn't decide that, I can't take this and I'm going to go, because you didn't decide that when it was her turn to lean on you. Okay? Hopefully that does something for you. And hopefully it works out for you. I know how hard it is. Marriage is not easy, never was and never will be. But if you find a way to do what works for you, that gets you to the ultimate goal, it's so worth it. It's worth it. That's it. to advicecoachjessica@gmail.com. I want to give a quick special shout out to my soror, Stacy Brewer, and she's has her own company, Hampton Blue. Please check her out. She did my intro and my outro. Is that what you call it? I don't know. But she did those things for me, and I really appreciate it. So she's just trying to make me look all fancy and stuff. So, you know, when the people call, I'll already look professional when the people call. I'm ready for the people. So thank you, Sarah. And I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace, love, and soul.